Welcome to the Facilitators Deep Dive Podcast, your podcast on your way to facilitation mastery. All right, so we're diving back into Who Moved My Cheese.
Yeah.
That little book, about dealing with change.
Yeah.
And I got to say, I used to think it was all a little too simplistic.
Right.
Maybe even a little cheesy, unintended.
Yeah.
But then I went through a pretty rough job change a few years back.
Okay.
And suddenly,
Yeah.
all those mice and little people, they felt a lot more relatable.
It is amazing how a simple story like that can resonate so deeply with people, especially when we're facing, big changes in our own lives.
Right.
What I think is fascinating about it is it taps into some really fundamental psychological truths about why we resist change, even when it's, ultimately for the better.
And it really shows how messy that can be.
Yeah.
I mean, remember him?
Oh, yeah.
He's like the poster child for clinging to the past. Who moved my cheese.
Yeah.
It's not fair.
Okay. It's not fair.
I mean, that was me.
I bet.
Practically word for word when I got that layoff notice.
Him's reaction is so common, and the book really does a good job of illustrating a concept called loss aversion.
Oh, okay.
Have you heard of that?
Yeah.
It's the idea that we feel the pain of a loss much more strongly than we feel the pleasure of an equivalent gain.
Oh, interesting.
So even if there's, amazing new cheese out there waiting for us, the fear of losing what we have, even if it's not that great anymore, can just keep us paralyzed.
It's like we're hardwired to focus on what we might lose rather than what we could gain.
Right. And that fear, man.
Yeah.
It's powerful.
It is.
Like, it can make us do crazy things.
Absolutely.
Like stay in a dead-end job or a relationship that's clearly over.
Totally.
Yeah.
And the book uses these characters.
Yeah. Hem and haw to kind of personify these different aspects of our resistance to change. So Hem represents that kind of initial shock, denial, anger.
Yeah.
He's all about blaming everyone else.
Yeah.
Rather than taking responsibility for what's going on.
Right. He's like that voice in your head.
Yeah.
That's like, I can't do this. It's too late. This isn't fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not fair.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But then we have Ha.
Right.
And he's still afraid. But there's like a glimmer of hope.
There is.
With him.
Yeah.
Like he's willing to at least consider that maybe things could be different.
He embodies that part of us that knows deep down we need to change, even if we're terrified of it.
Yeah.
He's struggling with that, an internal conflict. But he's curious. And he's starting to see the limitations of just clinging to the past.
He's like, okay, complaining isn't working, so maybe there's a different way.
He's ready to try something new.
Yeah.
And that's where the book gets really interesting. I think it shifts from just showing us the problem to offering a possible solution.
Okay.
And it starts with Ha.
Yeah.
Asking himself this really powerful question.
Okay.
What would I do if I weren't afraid?
It's so simple.
It is.
But it's so profound.
It is.
Right. Like it forces you to think about your fears.
Yeah.
And then to imagine.
Right.
Like, what if I wasn't afraid?
Right. What could you do?
What could I do?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like giving ourselves permission to dream bigger, to step outside our comfort zone and just consider that maybe, just maybe, change could lead to something even better than what we've known before.
And that's a big shift in thinking.
It is.
Especially for someone like Ha, who's been stuck in his routine for so long.
It's a radical shift.
Yeah.
And it's not easy. I mean, the book doesn't, sugarcoat the challenges of change.
Yeah.
But it does give us a roadmap.
Okay.
A set of principles we can use to navigate those challenges.
All right. And one of the things that really stuck with me was how they talk about visualization.
Oh, yeah.
Remember when Ha starts picturing himself enjoying that new cheese?
Yes. That's such a crucial moment.
Yeah.
He's not just, hoping for change. He's actively creating that image of what he wants in his mind.
And it gives him that motivation.
Right.
Yeah.
To keep going.
Exactly. And things are tough.
It's like planting a seed in his mind. And it starts to grow into this belief that a better future is possible. It's a powerful reminder that our thoughts really shape our reality. If we focus on fear and doubt, that's what we experience.
You get more of it.
But if we focus on hope and possibility, you know, that's what we start to attract.
Yeah, I like that.
Into our lives.
So we've got him stuck in the past, paralyzed by fear, and we got Ha starting to shift his mindset, you know? Daring to imagine that a different future is possible. But how does this actually play out? What happens when he actually takes that first step?
Well, that's where the real adventure begins. And that's what we'll explore in part 2 of our deep dive.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Looking forward to it.
All right. So we left off with Ha, right? He had taken that leap of faith, venturing out into the maze. Even though he was scared, he's armed with this new question. What would I do if I weren't afraid? And it's this question that really keeps him moving forward. But it's not all, you know, easy from here.
It's funny how we expect that. Once we make that decision to change, everything will just fall into place. But that's rarely the case.
It is rarely the case. The maze of life, much like the one in the story, is full of twists and turns. And Ha, he encounters a lot of setbacks along the way.
I remember one part where he finds this huge cheese station.
Oh, yeah.
But it's empty.
Completely empty.
And he's exhausted.
And
he's hungry.
He's put in all this work. And he's come up empty-handed.
And that old fear starts to creep back in.
Can you imagine that feeling?
Oh, I can totally relate to that. You've mustered up all your courage. You put yourself out there and then nothing.
And it would be so easy. To just give up at that point.
Absolutely. I know. It's like when you finally send out your resume after months of putting it off. And then you get all these rejections. It could be so discouraging.
It is.
And for Ha, I think this is like a crucial test.
It is a turning point for him.
It
really is.
Is he going to, you know, succumb to that fear and turn back? Or is he going to push through? And what's so inspiring is he chooses to push through. He does. He does. He remembers that question. What would I do if I weren't afraid? And it pulls him back from despair. He realizes that even though he hasn't found the new cheese yet, he's not the same Ha that he was back at Cheese Station C. He's grown. He's changed. He's starting to understand, I think, that real growth happens outside of your comfort zone. Absolutely. And those setbacks, those moments where you're not sure what's going to happen next, those are actually opportunities to build resilience, confidence, to discover strength you didn't even know you had. And he has this realization. True happiness isn't just about reaching our goals. It's about the journey. The process of striving for those goals, overcoming those obstacles, and learning from our experiences. He writes on the wall. He does. When you move beyond your fear, you feel free. He does. It's powerful. I love that quote. It's suggesting that freedom isn't the absence of fear. It's the courage to act in spite of it. It is, exactly. It's like that feeling you get when you finally break through a barrier you thought was unbreakable. It's liberating. It's exhilarating. It gives you so much confidence. Exactly, to face the next challenge. And as Ha keeps going, he starts noticing little bits of new cheese. Yes, he does. Here and there. Enough to keep him going. And it reinforces the idea that he's on the right track. Like those little victories are so important. They're like fuel. Yeah, they are. For our motivation. They remind us that keep going. It's worth it. You're making progress. It's getting there. And it's interesting how he doesn't just like accept this cheese. He reflects on it. He takes the time to really think about what's going on. He realizes that the cheese at Cheese Station C didn't just disappear overnight. It slowly dwindled. But he was so busy, so caught up in his routine that he didn't notice the signs. He didn't see the signs. It's so important. It is to be present. And pay attention. To what's happening around us. To those little changes. Because we get so comfortable in our routines, our way of thinking, that we miss the signs.
We become blind to those changes.
We're so focused on the big picture, the end goal,
the destination,
that we don't see the details, the little warning signs.
Right, exactly.
It's like that saying, smell the cheese often, so you know when it's getting old.
I love that one.
Right. It's about being proactive.
Yeah.
Checking in on your situation, your beliefs, your relationships.
Regularly,
to see if they're still serving you.
It's an important lesson.
It is, yeah.
And Ha learns to embrace that proactive approach. He realizes if he had been more aware, more adaptable, he wouldn't be in this situation. He could have, anticipated this change.
Yeah, and been ready.
And prepared.
It's like the difference between reacting to a crisis and preventing it.
It is.
We can all choose how we respond to change.
Absolutely. We can be like him, stubbornly resisting, or we can be like Ha, looking for new possibilities.
Yeah,
and Ha, as he continues on his journey, he leaves these little messages on the wall for him.
Oh, yeah.
Almost like breadcrumbs. Wisdom.
We're hoping that him will follow.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's such good advice.
They are.
For anyone going through change.
Yeah, practical advice.
It's not just these abstract concepts. It's like things you can actually do.
Things you can do.
And what's amazing is he doesn't just find new cheese.
Right.
He finds a whole new cheese station.
He finds cheese station N.
Cheese station N.
Even better.
And it's even better
than he imagined.
Than anything he could have imagined.
It's amazing.
And this isn't just luck.
Right.
Right.
It's not.
It's a result of.
It's a culmination of all of his,
of all his efforts.
Courage, his perseverance, his willingness to embrace the unknown.
When we let go of our fear and open ourselves up to new possibilities, what we find is often so much greater than what we left behind.
Yeah.
It's that sense of possibility that keeps us going.
It does.
That something better is out there.
Right, exactly.
But as we're celebrating Ha's success, I can't help but think about him.
I know, right? What about him?
Is he still back there?
Right.
At Cheese Station C?
Clinging to the past?
Or has he finally seen the light?
That's the question.
It is.
That lingers as we go into the final part of our deep dive.
Right.
Will him choose to change?
Right.
Or will he stay stuck in his old ways?
Looking forward to it. So we left Ha at Cheese Station N, living the dream.
Living the good life.
But I got to ask, what about him?
Right.
Is he still stuck?
Yeah.
Back at Cheese Station C?
Yeah.
Complaining about the cheese?
It's the question that lingers, isn't it?
It really does.
Yeah.
I mean, we all know Ha.
We do. We all do.
Really?
Someone who just refuses to budge.
Even when it's obvious,
Yeah.
that they need to change.
Makes you wonder, are we more like Ha or him?
Right. And I'll be honest.
Right.
I used to think him was just being stubborn.
Right.
But I get it now. He's lost something.
Yeah.
That was important to him.
It gave him comfort.
Comfort,
security.
Identity even.
Yeah, and that loss.
Yeah.
It can be scary.
It can be terrifying.
Especially when you don't know what's coming next.
What's on the other side.
Yeah.
And it's so easy to judge him.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Easy to be judged.
From the outside.
Yeah.
But I think the power of this story is that it makes us look at ourselves, and see those hem-like tendencies in us.
So like holding up a mirror.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We all have those moments where we just
dig our heels in.
Be in our heels and resist.
Yeah.
Even when we know deep down
right.
it might be for the best.
And I think that's what makes it so brilliant.
Yeah.
It doesn't give us easy answers. You know, it doesn't say hem is bad and ha's good.
Right.
It just shows us two sides of the same coin.
Yeah.
The complexities of being human.
And it's in that gray area, that struggle.
Yeah.
That we find the good stuff.
Yeah, the real lessons.
The real lessons, yeah.
Yeah.
And one thing I learned is that the longer we wait to adapt, the harder it gets.
It does. You know, Hall realizes this when he thinks back.
Yeah.
To Cheese Station C, how that cheese slowly disappeared.
Right.
He was so caught up in his routine that he didn't see the signs.
He missed the warning signs.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it reminds me of that saying.
What's that?
The best time to plant a tree
was
20 years ago.
Right.
But the second best time is today.
That's true.
You know?
Yeah.
We can't change the past.
Right.
But we can learn from it.
We can, absolutely.
And do better moving forward.
And I think that's really the bigger message of the book.
Okay.
It's not just about finding new cheese.
Right.
It's about being flexible.
Okay.
Adaptable. You know, embracing change.
Like a muscle?
Like a muscle, exactly.
You got to keep working it.
You got to keep it flexible.
Yeah. Shifting from scarcity to abundance.
It's a possibility.
The possibility, yeah. Realizing that change, even when it's hard, is a chance to grow.
It is. It's how we learn and evolve.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into who moved my cheese, I'm thinking maybe the new cheese isn't a thing.
Right.
It's a way of being.
It's a state of mind.
Yeah. That openness to new experiences.
Yeah, that willingness to let go of what's not working.
And embrace the unknown.
Yeah.
With courage.
With curiosity, with a sense of adventure.
It's a journey.
It is a journey.
Not a destination.
Absolutely.
And we can start that journey.
Anytime we choose.
Yeah, anytime.
Yeah.
Just got to ask ourselves, what would I do if I weren't afraid?
Powerful question.
It is, and then take that first step.
Take that first step.
Who knows what we'll find?
You never know what you'll discover.
See you next time on the Facilitators Deep Dive Podcast, your podcast on your way to facilitation mastery. Until next time.
See you then.